Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show, huh? So what's been going on is that I know I sound like a broken record, but the people are waking up to how shitty their government is because people can't believe that Donald Trump is their president. So they're giving extra scrutiny to the stuff their representatives do, and people are waking up as predicted. So, in a sense, there's a silver lining happening, in a sense. Now, you saw, we have a video. Well, this was Sheldon Whitehouse. This was him in Rhode Island. He's a senator. People got mad at him that he was voting to confirm Trump's cabinet picks. And they went out. Look at this. This is supposed to, there's supposed to be a quiet little town hall that he has. Nobody expected this. There's all those. This is for a senator from Rhode Island. Look at that. And they couldn't even, there wasn't even enough people to get inside. Here's Jason Chaffetz. There's another video where a 10-year-old girl took him down over science. She said, "I believe in science, do you?" And of course he doesn't, because he's Republican and a Mormon. Here he is again. Now, this is a report from CNN put this together of all the different, it's not just Jason Chaffetz, but all the different Republicans being confronted all over the country. Watch this. This is kind of remarkable.
Hold on.
The town hall welcome for Congressman Jason Chaffetz. Jeered. Drowned out.
I'm trying to be as representative as I can.
A crowd of 1,000, viscerally tired of D.C. blather.
Why aren't you checking out your own president right now?
Another 1,000 people say police outside.
Another 1,000 people outside. Wow. People are upset at Jason Chaffetz, as they say. I say Chaffee. Let's see, who is he? He's the chairman of the House Oversight Committee. They want him to investigate Trump's financial conflicts of interest. He's already said that the president is exempt from conflict of interest laws. He just said it. I'd like to, but he's exempt, so go pound sand. He's also wants to defund Planned Parenthood, Jason Chaffetz. And so people are upset with him. Dude, let's watch. Is the video, by the way, quality okay? You work for us. You look at this. Another 1,000 people outside. When has this happened in February before?
Congressman Chaffetz seeing firsthand the national tide of angry voters. In California,
National tide of angry voters. And here's in California.
Protesters swarmed this town hall, chasing out the congressman.
Why did you let us in?
From Nebraska to Pennsylvania to Indiana.
From Nebraska to Pennsylvania to Indiana to Utah to Rhode Island.
Knocking on district doors, sitting in uninvited. Channeling post-election anger, a progressive movement called Indivisible.
You will have 3
So there's this group called Indivisible. This is Brave New Films. We love those guys.
simple targets. Your 2 U.S. senators.
So this
and
is
your
interesting. This is happening all over. So these guys are...
representative.
Indivisible was founded by former congressional staffers who saw firsthand the power of the 2009 Tea Party to stall President Obama's agenda. Indivisible now claims 3,000 groups and 100,000 members spread across every congressional district.
Did they say 3,000 groups and 100,000 members? That's what I heard. Is that what you heard? So different groups. So I guess it's like an umbrella organization, or they're saying that. So there's lots of activists, lots of people waking up. This is what changed things. You know, it was the civil rights movement that really got legislation moved. It was the environmental movement that got Nixon to do EPA. So we need to have movements again. And this is good. And so, again, silver linings. Silver linings to the horrible, to a right-wing takeover. So this is something. So this is This is one of these organizations. This is what I'm talking about, working outside the two-party duopoly.
The things that we need to ask Jason Chaffetz.
It's organized. Donald Aguirre live streaming an action plan to indivisible Utah 24 hours before Congressman Chaffetz's town hall. This is directly in response to the election.
100%.
Yeah, so now they would say, oh, look, they're being paid by George Soros, except they're not being paid by George Soros. These are actual activists. When you're on the left, you actually, the only time you see activists on the right is when they're against abortion. They come out for free for that. Ugh.
We will be at everybody's doorstep.
They will be at everyone's door.
The administration is noticing. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer dismissed these protesters as professionals.
The Tea Party was a very organic movement. This has become a very paid AstroTurf type movement.
Are you?
Yeah, people are being paid. You saw those people. They paid 750,000 people downtown L.A. when we went down there for that march. They paid them.
Political operative?
Absolutely not. I'm a nurse. I'm a mom.
Courtney Martin founded Indivisible Utah, once a registered Republican and now a self-declared anti-Trump progressive.
Like to hear that. Former registered Republican, now a progressive. Trump is creating jobs. He's creating professional protester jobs.
The Chaffetz town hall crowd with Donald Aguirre declaring victory. Congressman Chaffetz cutting off his town hall 45 minutes early.
Wow, so the is hitting the fan. It is hitting the fan. People are waking up. They're getting in people's faces. This is good. This is good to see. Fantastic. Here's one more. Here's Betsy DeVos. She's the new Secretary of Education who apparently has never stepped inside of a public school. So she tried the other day, and this is what happened.
She does not represent anything that they stand for.
Keep giving money to...
She couldn't get in the front, right, because they were protesting. So this is around the side, and they're still protesting. And I don't know if she looks visible to me. People were saying on the Young Turks last Friday that she looked visibly shaken. Betsy DeVos here. You tell me.
Senators, and buying your way to the position, you should be so proud of yourself.
Now, her family gave $200 million, whatever, to Republican politicians, Republican Party, and that's why she has no qualifications to do anything. She just has a lot of money. She married into it. Her father had money. She didn't earn anything ever in her life, right? And so now she wants to wreck public education, privatize it, make it religious, all that stuff. And because she gave money, lots and lots of money, to the Republican Party politicians. And so that's who she is, and she's nothing. Now she's getting the taste of these are real citizens who are affected by her policies. And the bigger protesters are out in front. She's sneaking out the side,
Go
it looks
back.
like.
Shame! 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 Shame!
I dig this. I dig when people protest. So there was more to that on the Young Turks. They had more where the cops actually weren't being jerks. Cops were they had to get the people out of the way of the cars, but no pepper spray. They didn't hit anybody. They just kind of moved. They kind of grabbed people and moved them over, which is what you think a normal person would do, and they did. So people were saying that Betsy DeVos looked visibly shaken, and then some people got upset because I shared a story that I've heard Christopher Hedges say. Chris Hedges tells a story that's in Kissinger's biography, and it's about when the anti-war people were protesting at Nixon in the White House, and there were 1,000 of them or so, even more, and they were afraid they're going to break through the gates, so they had all these school buses lined up to barricade. And Nixon turned to Kissinger and said, "Henry, I'm afraid if they break through the gates, they'll come for us." Christopher Hedges ends that telling of the story by saying, and I think that's exactly where we want our elected officials. And I said that on the Young Turks on Friday, and I got a lot of pushback on that. People saying that you can't ever you violence and public. I'm not saying hey, I'm saying it's better when the government fear. Hey, if you went out and you protested at DAPL, would you be afraid for your safety? Of course you would. And you'd have to know there's a consequence being paid because the fascist government is going to brutalize you, and that's what they do, and everybody allows it. So that's okay. So nobody has a problem with the government brutalizing everybody. I mean, people say, "Why do I don't condone that either?" I'm not saying I'm not condoning violence. I'm saying that was a great story about Nixon and Henry Kissinger, and I like that Chris Hedges ends when he tells that story by saying, "And that's exactly where we want him." I like that he says that. I'd like to hear what he says about people who say that's wrong to say. But it is better for our elected officials to be afraid of the public and not the other way around, because it's the other way around right now. But it looks like maybe a little bit, Ski, they're getting afraid of the public. Wouldn't that be nice? Isn't it great to see Betsy DeVos actually have to almost come in contact with a regular person? Isn't it great? Her car had to come in contact with a regular person. She didn't. Isn't that nice? So the direct action, I'm all for it. And I think this is great. This is great stuff. Keep getting in their faces. It's the public school. It's not their school. And keep going. This is great. I wish people would have did this during the Obama administration. That's the only thing. I wish that maybe I should have did it more, gone out and occupied our senators' offices and protested about the 7 wars we were in and all the bank bailouts and screwing over people. I guess people did. That's what Occupy was. And what they do, they crack their heads in at the behest of Democratic mayors, giving the order to union cops, go out and crack those peaceful protesters' heads in. And so it's good that it's happening now. I wish it would happen all the time because it's really needed. I mean, this kind of direct action protest stuff.